All right, welcome to the 2009 UPA Club Championships in Sarasota, Florida. We are here streaming live the open final between Atlanta's Chain Lightning and the San Francisco Bay Area's Revolver. My name is Andrew Brown. I played Ultimate at the University of Wisconsin. I won a national championship in 2003, played a few years with Sub-Zero, and now I play with Furious George in Vancouver.
And I'm Kyle Weisbrod out of Brown University, graduated in 2002 from there, winning a national championship in 2000, edging out Andrew Brown by a couple of years. Played on Johnny Bravo out of Colorado for 5 years before moving to Atlanta, now play on the co-ed team Bucket.
All right. Well, as you can see, it's a gorgeous day here in Sarasota, Florida, as it has been the whole tournament. How warm do you think it is here, Kyle? I'd say it's probably maybe high 80s.
It is certainly the high 80s.
Maybe 90s.
It is warm out in the sunshine. Under here in the crow's nest, it's much cooler, breezier. It feels nice.
That's right. All weekend it's been gorgeous. Pretty humid though, but we can't complain. Usually it's pretty windy here in Sarasota, but for the most part, the wind hasn't been much of a factor. But today, for these three finals, it's been the wind has picked up a bit, and it's more like it usually is here in Sarasota.
Yeah, I would say we're looking at maybe 8 to 15 mile per hour winds out here. It's not terrible. Certainly will allow the throwers to really showcase their good throws. Might cause some hanging discs out here. Might affect some throws from players who aren't looking for the wind to affect it. We saw some of that yesterday in the Masters finals. Winds typically pick up here in the afternoon, so we might actually see the winds pick up even more as these games go on.
All right. Revolver is the overall #1 seed, and they battled their way through the competition this weekend, going undefeated up until now. Chain Lightning, also undefeated, coming into this game. Do you know if these two teams have played yet this season?
These two teams did play. They played Chesapeake Invite back in August with Chain losing that game. They were up early, 8-4, and Revolver came back and won the game 12-11. Really exciting play. Revolver stepped up their defense in that game, and Chain just couldn't get it done on offense, put it away. So, these two, Chain looking for a little bit of revenge. Overall #2 seed here at the tournament, and as you mentioned, they're undefeated on the weekend.
All right, so the lines are out there, and it looks like we have Chain Lightning getting set to pull. Disc in the hands of World Games gold medalist Dylan Tennell. Revolver's offense gives the hand raise, and we'll have the pull just shortly for you.
Andrew, I am really excited about this game here. Both these teams very athletic, very skilled teams. We should see some big plays on both sides. Big pull from Dylan Tennell to start this game.
Ooh. The wind shows to be a factor real early in this game as the disc sails out of bounds, and Robbie Cahill of Revolver will pick up the disc and take it to the brick mark.
So check out that matchup right there in the middle of the field. You see number 50, Bo Kittredge, walking away. Covering him is Joel Wooten for Chain Lightning in purple. This is going to be a matchup we're going to want to keep a close eye on. These two, both speedsters with a lot of height and athleticism.
Sherwood up to Mac Taylor. Mac Taylor near the sideline. Looks like Chain Lightning forcing forehand. Mac Taylor pivoting. Great defense there. Ooh, Mac Taylor sneaks that backhand up the line. Sherwood with the disc now. Gets it to the middle of the field to Tom James, who swings to Mac Taylor. Mac Taylor continues to the left sideline. Disc in the middle now for Revolver. Mark Sherwood with the disc. About 5 yards outside the end zone, a little lifting backhand into the end zone for the Revolver goal and the 1-0 lead.
Wow, Revolver looked like they were stuck there early in that point on the sideline, but Chain's defense broke down at a high in a stall count, and then it looked like there was some confusion on Chain's end as Revolver just moved it effortlessly up to about 10 yards outside of the Chain end zone before patiently working it in.
Yep, that was some good flow.
Dylan Tennell out for a second straight point, as is Josh Zipperstein there on the right side of the Chain line. So what do you think for early predictions here in this game, Andrew?
Well, I think Josh Zipperstein is going to be huge for Chain Lightning. He's been playing very well all weekend, and he seems to be the heart of this Chain Lightning squad.
Chain Lightning coming out in a spread offense. Jay Hammond with the disc in the middle of the field being marked by Jit Bhattacharya.
Jit, a great handler defender.
Looks like Revolver is sagging in the lanes. The two defenders guarding the resets for Chain Lightning, standing in those throwing lanes for Jay Hammond. So Jay looks to move it wide.
Disc in the hands of AJ T.R. Smith in the middle of the field, being marked by Mark Sherwood. AJ with the disc again, up to Dylan Tennell. Now to the middle, back to T.R. Smith. Ooh, thought about the deep look there. Looks like there may be a call upfield.
Looks like a pick call there. Number 1, Josh Marquette out of Chain Lightning, being marked by number 13, Tyler Grant. And Greg Swanson going right at it to Asa Wilson deep.
Ooh, nice D there. Who was that? I think that was Robbie Cahill who went up high for that block.
Cahill getting in front and position there on Asa Wilson and getting the block, and now Revolver getting an opportunity for a break.
Robbie Cahill gets the D and picks up for the Revolver defense, who has their first chance at a break. Ooh, nice around break there. Josh Wiseman throws up the line, and it sails out of bounds.
That looked like a pretty physical mark there from Asa Wilson. I'm a little surprised there's actually no call on that throw from what I can see over here.
So, Chain's offense, despite the turn, gets the disc back on a Revolver error. Looks like Jay Hammond picking up for Chain. Walking it up to the spot where it went out of bounds. Looks like a forehand force.
Whoa!
Big hammer catches the wind, and there's a Wolfpack underneath. Ooh, I don't know who got up and smacked that down for Revolver.
It looked like it was Cahill again in a group of Revolver defenders.
Jeez, he got up high there for his second D of this point.
Jay Hammond not unwilling to let one of those big hammers go, but that one hung just a little too far, maybe a little ill-advised.
That's right. This time we have Mark Sherwood picking up the disc. Disc on the sideline for Revolver. Flips it up to Bo Kittredge. Bo Kittredge with the disc for the first time in this game.
There's another interesting matchup for you guys watching. Bo Kittredge and Dylan Tennell, both World Games teammates from this summer's U.S. World Games team. Gold medalists, of course.
Looks like the disc is going back.
That's Tyler Grant with the disc, being marked by Josh Marquette. Josh Marquette, a longtime mainstay for Chain's O-line here. The quick thrower, has all the throws really in the tool belt.
Josh Marquette, nicknamed
Cricket.
Ooh, nice bid there from Dylan Tennell. Ooh, wow, physical mark. No foul. Ooh, huck put up by Robbie Cahill, and it looks like it's a little bit short.
That was Marquette with the block, and Marquette put it checking in at the goal line for Chain Lightning. Chain with their third possession of their first O point of the game.
AJ T.R. Smith just outside his own end zone with the disc. Continues up to Josh Zipperstein. Dylan Tennell with the disc, rips a big backhand.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
Gets by Jit Bhattacharya and into the hands of Jay Hammond.
Swing and a miss on that D. It looked like he had it all lined up.
I am shocked at that. That Jit came down looking at his hand as if, how did that one go through? How did that one pass my hand? And Chain ties it up 1-1.
So Revolver's O-line awaiting the pull. Revolver gives the hand raise, signaling their readiness.
So interesting. So Revolver putting Bo Kittredge out on both their first D point as well as this O point. Put him on Dylan Tennell there on the first point of the game for Chain's offense, of course. We'll be interested to see if they keep that subbing pattern, how much Bo is going to actually play here.
Nice pull. Goes out of bounds and back in. Fielded by Tom James up to Robbie Cahill, about 5 yards outside his own end zone. Nick Schlag swings back to Tom James in the middle. Good defense here from Chain. Chain forcing Revolver to go backwards. And again backwards.
Wow, Chain's downfield defense all over the Revolver cutters.
Jason Simpson poaching in the lane there. Ooh, nice IO break there from Robbie Cahill. Mac Taylor fakes the huck. Ooh, Taylor, smooth looking forehand there. Tom James with the disc on the sideline. Forehand up to Bo Kittredge, who puts it back into the middle. Josh Wiseman. Kittredge with the disc again. Dumps to Cahill. Nice little flat break up to Mac Taylor. Ooh, foul on the throw there. I think Mac Taylor's going to get that back.
That's Robert White from Chain Lightning marking Mac Taylor.
Excellent defender.
Excellent defender. Very, very explosive player out of Auburn University. Revolver really looking very patient with their offense here, despite that downfield defense from Chain. Mac Taylor with the break.
Ooh, and it looked like Tom James there.
That was Tom James
makes
pulling
the
down.
grab and toes the line in the back left corner of the end zone. That goal makes it 2-1 Revolver.
Revolver takes the lead, 2-1.
So I just want to make a quick comment on one of the Twitter comments that just came in. Someone said, "Stop calling it a physical mark. It is a blatant, hacking, cynical, unspirited foul. Widespread plus effective does not equal good." But what's been really interesting here to me about these marks is that these teams aren't calling it. It seems to me like both teams kind of want a physical game here. They want to play hard, athletic, ultimate, and they're okay with not calling those physical marks. And maybe it's an agreed upon thing that the teams are doing.
You're absolutely right, and calling those fouls really can slow down an offense. So it's often an advantage to not make the call.
I know the two teams met before the game started and maybe discussed some of those ideas and how they wanted this game to be played. One of the advantages of actually having it played by, wow.
Big huck goes up from Dylan Tennell, but it looks like, ooh, wow. Looks like his mark got a little piece of that. Made it come up a little short.
Certainly, Revolver coming out a little flat there, forcing it out. Even if they didn't get the piece on the, if Bo did not get a piece of that throw, definitely forced it to throw a little further outside. And number 13, Tyler Grant from Revolver, able to come down with that block on Josh Zipperstein.
All right, so Revolver with the disc, looking to break. Ooh, big huck. I think that was from Mac Taylor. Big outside in forehand.
Oh! Can't hang
Wow.
on to it. Mark Sherwood, amazing bid. Pulls
Yeah.
it down, but seems like he loses possession when he hit the ground.
Heck of an effort just to get a hand on that.
Yeah. Sherwood really showing his wheels on that one.
Tennell with the disc up to AJ Tierra-Smith. Lots of space for Josh Zipperstein to work. Zipperstein swings. It's continued across the field to Dylan Tennell. Dylan Tennell with a big forehand huck.
Has Asa Wilson deep.
Oh, that is just perfect. Just perfect.
Beautiful throw there from Dylan Tennell to Asa Wilson. Asa Wilson, of course, the new Chain pickup, his second-year player on the team out of UC Santa Barbara. Played for a year with Rival, the co-ed team in Atlanta.
And that goal makes it 2-all. Teams that, fancy themselves athletic are willing to, jack it, put it out to space, and let their athletes go to work, try to rip down some huge gainers. All right, Tom James fielding this pull for Revolver. Centers up to Robbie Cahill, just outside his own end zone. Mac Taylor earns an underneath gainer. Ooh, big backhand.
Oh,
Ooh,
Joel
a
Wooten!
lot of pace on that. Great D there from Joel Wooten.
Wow.
That was intended for
Bo
who's that? That's
Kittredge. That was
intended
Bo
for
Kittredge going deep, and Joel Wooten, one of the few players out here in the open division with the legs to keep up with Kittredge, really makes a great play at that, lays it out, and gets just enough of it to knock it away from Kittredge.
That's a big statement early, I think, for
Certainly
that
is.
matchup.
Might make Revolver a little more hesitant to go back to it. Oh, Lockheed.
Ooh, Will Lockheed nearly drops it. Bounces off his chest, but he's able to find it, make the grab anyways. Ooh, another huck from Chain.
Rob White on Mac
Hanging
Taylor.
in the air.
Oh! Rob White gets a piece of it. Looked like he had his
did.
hand on it, but couldn't quite
He
come
was
down
up
with it.
real high on that, and he got the meat of his hand on that disc, but couldn't reel it in.
Whoa, that gave me shivers. Rob White, really explosive player. Like we said before, Chain has nicknamed him Yahtzee because he makes big plays all the time.
All right, Robbie Cahill, the center of the handling core for Revolver. with the disc now. Swings to the middle to Tom James. Stanford University's Callahan nominee this past year.
Oh, nice break from Mac Taylor.
Tom James rips that backhand. Oh, who's that receiver out there?
So it looks like this one's going to be coming back. Rob Baird on the mark for chain lightning. Definitely bumped Tom James before he put that one up. I think there may be some discussion, though, on whether the bump was on the pivot or the throw.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bump, and he tried to get the free throw out of it, but the throw came well after the foul. So there's a discussion here. Looks like the observers are getting involved.
I know that's no foul, but I actually think that is a dirty play personally. Rob Baird coming up there and clearly putting the bump, just as he's setting his pivot foot. I mean, certainly what Tom James did, trying to take advantage of it. He didn't do it within the rules because he waited too long to actually put up that huck. The bump was on the pivot and not the throw itself. But, I think that's one where the observer should be stepping in and giving warnings out to players.
All right, Chain Lightning with the disc now, with a chance to break.
This is Chain's second possession of this point, and their second overall D possession, looking for a break.
Ooh, we're seeing lots of hucks here.
That's John Monforti deep to Mark Poole, and Mark Poole with the goal in stride. That's a great shot by John Monforti.
Wow. Mark Poole breaks free of Josh Wiseman there. Brings that down for, I believe, the first break of this game, and it belongs to Chain. That goal makes it 3-2, Chain Lightning, up early.
Mark Poole, another one of the recent pickups Chain Lightning's had that's really made their team more and more athletic. They started even with an athletic base, but some of the pickups they've had in the last couple of years have really just added on to that. Mark Poole, actually homegrown talent from Georgia College and State University, just outside of Atlanta. Got to start just playing summer league and playing with a local college team that doesn't, just goes to sectionals, but kind of got adopted by the Atlanta Ultimate scene. They saw his potential, and kind of groomed him, and he's turned out to be one of the big defenders for Chain Lightning this season.
Well, like you said earlier, you live in Atlanta, and
that would explain why
exactly,
I know so much about Chain Lightning.
Exactly.
Yes, of course.
For all the most recent news and information concerning the sport of Ultimate, including the 2009 UPA Club Championships in Sarasota, Florida, visit www.upa.org.
I do apologize if my commentary is a little Chain Lightning heavy here. I certainly know more about them. I'll try to toss in the Revolver color where I know stuff, but
that's all right. You and I covered the Masters final yesterday between Troubled Past and Surly, and having played myself with Sub-Zero in Minneapolis, my bias came through a little bit there as well. All right, pull goes up. Revolver receiving. Looks like they'll be centering to Mark Sherwood. Sherwood up to Robbie Cahill, who continues to Bo Kittredge. Kittredge hits Rasmussen coming underneath. Mac Taylor coming in with speed. Oof.
Oh, that throw from Taylor looked like the wind peaked up there. I can even feel it coming in here in the crow's nest, and I don't think Taylor expected that, and it just got away from receiver Robbie Cahill there for Revolver. And now Chain's going to have another opportunity for a break, this one going upwind.
Yeah, by the looks of the flags, this is clearly the downwind end zone right in front of us. And that throw from Mac Taylor was heavily affected by the wind. Sails out the back of the end zone.
Robert Runner here with the disc, University of Virginia's Callahan nominee this year, another one of the big athletic pickups Chain's had.
Ooh, Josh Zipperstein earns a big under. And Zipperstein puts up a forehand huck upwind. Ooh.
That one hangs up there for Dylan Tennell, and I actually think there was some contact from my perspective.
There was. That's Robbie Cahill who went up and was going after his third skying D of the game.
Looks like Cahill doesn't contest. This goes back to Dylan Tennell in his hands, about 10 yards outside the upwind end zone for the second break of the game for Chain.
And they convert. Dylan Tennell pivots, sends a backhand into the end zone for the goal to Peter Dempsey to make it 4-2. Chain up. in the first half.
I feel like I keep saying this about all these athletic chain pickups, but Peter Dempsey is another one of their big ones. A defender out of University of Georgia, really athletic. He's been making big plays for them on the D-line this season.
Just joining us, score is 4-2 in favor of Chain in the first half. Chain rattled off 2 breaks in a row.
I'm Kyle Weisbrod here with Andrew Brown. Andrew, what do you think early? So far, we're seeing Chain with a couple breaks. You think Revolver's going to be able to adjust here? What would you have talked about in that timeout?
Well, we discussed it just a few minutes ago. I think they need to start working the disc underneath and maybe skip the deep shots. They have the throwers to work the disc underneath and break the mark, grind it out. So, Chain's Jason Simpson set to pull. Big outside in backhand from the lefty. Fielded by Tom James, up to Mark Sherwood in the middle of the field. Ooh, looks like a foul on the mark there.
Peter Dempsey again on the mark, marking Mark Sherwood. No contest on that foul call.
Cahill with the disc. Ooh, wow, nice grab there from Bo. The diving two-handed clap catch. Good pivots from Bo Kittredge. He's really developed as a thrower.
So interesting, Chain switched up the matchup on Bo Kittredge at this point. They've got Dave Berendez, and so Revolver's attacking. Bo Kittredge out to space.
Mac Taylor with just a perfect forehand upwind, just a blast. I mean, that was an incredibly powerful throw.
I think they saw the opportunity there. See the new defender on Bo Kittredge, Dave Berendez, maybe want to.
Oof, that's the first forehand pull I've seen all weekend.
Wow, really uses the wind well, comes in blading.
Just a monster pull there. Disc in the hands of Jay Hammond.
Revolver comes in with a bit of a straight out mark with some poaching, a little sag defense. Once again, sagging off the handlers. Now it looks like they're locking down some.
Josh Marquette gets open underneath, has the disc on the sideline right now. Swings it across to Jay Hammond.
Jay Hammond going upwind. That one slows, but Zip's able to read it,
wow.
comes back to the disc, stops, and goes up and grabs it.
I don't think that's exactly what Jay Hammond had in mind, but works nonetheless.
Still only seeing the wind effect. Somebody throws. Josh Marquette
throws the push pass into the end zone.
That's Asa Wilson with the goal. Push past the cutesy little throw from Josh Marquette.
Puts Chain up 2 with a score of 5-3. But these teams are both new to this game, but one of them's definitely coming out of here with a national championship.
Certainly, but you know, a lot of these Revolver guys have a lot of that championship type experience with Stanford. You know, of course, the Bravo guys that are transplanted on here have been in the finals before with Bravo and been in the finals of the college championships with CU. So a lot of championship experience, even if it's not the club championship experience.
Oh, wow. Looks like that pull got away.
Oh, just out of bounds. Chain Lightning, on the other hand, you know, unluckily for them last year, Dylan Tennell, of course, one of their premier players, was injured, was unable to play in their semifinal game against Ironside where they lost. That may have been the difference in the game. Of course, Dylan Tennell, a very athletic and explosive player for Chain Lightning.
Well, and ironically enough, Chain was able to get revenge for that loss last year in the semis yesterday here at the UPA Club Championships. So, Mac Taylor going to work here for Revolver.
Chain coming with a straight up mark again. Robert White gets a foot on that. Looks like Mac Taylor's calling a foul on that. You know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it's really tough sometimes to get those point blocks on those backhands since you're leading with the back of your hand. Of course, that's the first thing that's going to have contact. You really have to kind of step back to get it. Rob White on the mark still.
Tom James with the disc. Dumps to Bo Kittredge. Bo Kittredge. Back to Tom James. Back to Bo. Josh Wiseman with the disc in the center of the field. Swings out to the sideline.
Revolver with great spacing here. That right side of the field, the open side of the field, they're keeping really clear for their cutters coming in underneath. And then when they don't get that, they're looking to break the mark like that.
Nice around break there.
Woo! Little worm burner.
Little backhand across the face of the mark. Low but effective. Mac Taylor just outside the end zone. Pivoting. Good defense there. Robbie Cahill now. Ooh. Flat break there into the end zone. Looks like Josh Wiseman reels in that goal for Revolver.
Revolver nice settling down their offense a little bit.
So here we take a look at the fans here. This open final.
Five-4 Chain Lightning leads, up 2 breaks here. That's a deep pull. Greg Swanson a yard off the back of the end zone, up to Paul Vandenberg. Paul Vandenberg, I believe this is his first point of the game. Big handler with huge forehand out of Brown University.
Ooh. Dangerous looking hammer.
Oh.
But AJ Tiersmith goes for the one-handed catch there.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you think he thought that a Revolver defender was right there and he needed to go with one hand?
That upwind hammer, I think it was hanging a little bit. I think he thought that he had to go stronger than he needed to. Probably could have just reached up and grabbed it with 2 hands, giving Revolver an easy opportunity for a break here.
Just outside the end zone is Revolver. Dump to Sherwood. Sherwood, very good break mark thrower.
Oh.
There it is. Bo Kittredge with the goal. Gives Revolver the break and ties things up at 5 apiece in the first half.
Revolver's first break of the game. Their first conversion of a Chain O-line turnover. Chain's had 4 turns on their O-line.
So if you're just joining us, it's 5 apiece here in this Open National Championship game. Brought to you by the UPA and UltiVillage. Revolver set to pull to Chain Lightning's offense. Chain will be headed downwind. Disc in the hands of Dylan Tennell, who launches a forehand going downwind.
Asa Wilson, that is
my
a
gosh.
beauty. Holy smokes.
I don't know what you do there. I mean, it looks like they sort of let him go almost. I mean, he was wide open there. Wilson was.
Dylan Tennell down. He is on fire.
Yeah. That was a perfect forehand huck. I mean, how far do you think he threw that? That had to be 75, maybe 80 yards?
I mean, at least that. I mean, he caught it 15 yards deep in the end zone, and he was only a few yards outside of the end zone that they were coming from. So that was a huge put by Dylan Tennell. Just a beautiful forehand.
Certainly the wind helps with the distance there, but the wind makes it tough because it's going to be traveling so fast that there's not very much room for error.
Yeah, Dylan was able to put a lot of touch on that disc, allow Wilson just to run onto it. It's what makes Tennell such a dangerous player. Obviously a big, deep receiver, but his throws too, I mean, are some of the best in the game. Definitely a beautiful day for Ultimate, and these teams are playing some beautiful Ultimate. It seems like they've settled down after some turns early.
Pull goes up from Chain. Revolver receiving, fielded by Tom James. Puts it up to Robbie Cahill. Robbie Cahill with some great fakes there, setting up his throws. Rasmussen in the middle, dumps to Cahill. Does well to get back upfield, catch up to his nice upfield throw. Nice cut there from Wiseman. Wiseman swings out to James, about 10 yards outside the end zone. Bo Kittredge with the disc now.
Nice patient grinded out offense here from Revolver, facing a tough Chain defense. But Revolver showing a bunch of patience, moving the disc well pretty horizontally.
Bo Kittredge's throws and pivots and fakes have really improved. I almost don't even recognize him out there with the disc in his hands.
It was really only a matter of time before Bo really realized his length and what he could do with it on the throwing end of things.
Cahill with the disc again.
Oh,
Looks like a foul on the mark.
that looks to me like Greg Swanson, but Greg Swanson's an O-line player. Who is that?
I think it's Mark Poole.
It's certainly not Mark Poole. I can tell you that right now. Mark Poole is right actually back here, number 19 with the Atlanta Braves
Okay.
hat. It is Mark. It is Greg Swanson.
Yeah, good eyes there. Kyle Weisbrod.
But that number, is that number wrong? Oh no, it's 18. Excuse me. That is right. Okay. Greg Swanson on the mark, getting called for the foul. The observer ruling it is a foul.
Nice little high release backhand break. Ooh, I don't know why Bo didn't throw that. Looked like Mac Taylor towed the end zone line there for the goal.
Bo Kittredge, Matt.
That goal ties things up at 6-all in this first half at the UPA Club Championships.
Nice possessional offense by Revolver there, working it down the field. Someone also on Twitter asking how many Stanford players are on this roster. From my count, I think there are 9 of them. 9 Stanford players. Definitely a Stanford heavy roster. They kind of have that Stanford style, right? That break the mark, move it pretty quickly type work that you see out of Stanford Ultimate.
Nice pull there from Eric Halverson. Disc in the hands of Paul Vandenberg.
Now Zip hanging out really deep, coming back underneath now for big yards. Whoa, big bid there.
Ooh, huge bid. Looks like
Nick Chapman, I think, with the bid, and it looks like he may have injured himself coming down.
looked like he was holding his back when he came down. His teammates taking a look at him.
If you're just joining us here, Revolver here in red, Chain Lightning in purple. We've got a 6-6 game tied up. Chain Lightning is leading by a break, though. They started on defense, and they have the disc currently. I'm Kyle Weisbrod, and I'm here with,
Andrew Brown.
and we're really happy here to be bringing you this great game. I'm really excited about this final game. It's the game I've personally been looking for all weekend long.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. This is before the club championships even started. This was a final that I was hoping for. Fortunately, both of us were lucky enough to have it play out this way.
And as are all of you fans, very fortunate. Got an exciting game for you. This gets checked back in here with Zipperstein, flat mark.
Tierra Smith up to Josh Marquette. Tierra Smith with the disc again. Swings it to the middle.
So
Looks like a Chain Lightning player went down there. Maybe
That's-
perhaps a foul call. Looks
that's-
like the observer's going over to check things out.
yeah, it looks like a foul. Josh Marquette calling a foul on Bhattacharya. Bhattacharya not contesting, so disc comes in, stalling 0. You know, I keep seeing this. This is one of the things that I really dislike about Chain's offense is they will often dump it but not have that next swing.
Vandenberg puts up a backhand huck into the end zone.
Oh!
Wow!
Kittredge splitting between Zipperstein and Dylan Tennell and coming down with it. But it looks like Zip may be calling the foul there.
Dylan Tennell was up so high there, but Bo Kittredge went up just a bit higher to grab that out of the air and
Who-
deny Chain's offense that chance at a goal.
Josh Wiseman, the other Revolver defender in that pack. I don't think Bo had any contact until he caught that disc, but I think Wiseman may have created some. Although it looks like Zip's going out talking to Kittredge about it. And there's your instant replay. For those of you guys wanting instant replay, that's what we've got for you right now. Zip jumping up in front of Bo Kittredge.
It's also the reverse thing.
So they're having a discussion about it with the observer here.
Observer rules no foul.
Wow, that was an incredible D by Bo Kittredge. I think he's maybe the only player at this tournament who could have gotten that D.
I mean, that's why Bo Kittredge is the premier athlete in this game.
Ooh, nice upline throw, but it's mishandled, and AJ Tiersmith comes up with it. Ooh,
nice break
descent
mark.
into the end zone over the top to Josh Zipperstein for the
Swanson.
chain goal.
Greg Swanson, nice break mark forehand there all the way across the field for the score and the 7-6 lead from Chain.
Absolutely. That was great vision to see Josh Zipperstein breaking away on the far side of the field.
So the Revolver defense getting a good number of looks here in the first half. 5 turnovers from the Chain offense. Revolver only able to convert once. You got to think that Revolver wanted to have more than a 20% conversion rate on their defensive O-line.
So Chain pulling here. They have an opportunity to take half if they can generate a turn, put one in.
Yeah, Chain looking like putting out a strong D-line, but they put Tennell back out there. Probably figuring that Tennell can handle this point, and then if they don't score this one, the one more on offense before the halftime. So they figure it's worth taking that chance, maybe, make him run a little more, but hopefully get a break out of it.
See John the Kid Hammond out there. Have you seen him out there in this game so far?
The kid's played a couple of points. Number 11 out there, Hammond. But he hasn't been playing very consistently. Chain's really been throwing a lot of defenders at this Revolver offense.
Well, they have the personnel to do that. Ooh, Robbie Cahill puts up a forehand huck. And it's absolutely perfect to Tom James.
Wow, that's amazing. You're talking about John Hammond. They went right after that Tom James, John Hammond matchup right there. And Cahill really just, buttery forehand.
Yep.
With that downwind, actually very similar to that Dillon forehand we saw earlier today.
Delivers just an absolute beauty of a forehand. That goal ties things up at 7 apiece. This next point will decide who takes the halftime lead.
And I'd say this next point here, looks like we've got Revolver calling timeout. I'd say this next point here is probably the most important point we've seen so far. It really, going into the half with a break is a huge advantage to Chain because they'll be starting on offense in the second half.
Absolutely. This championship makes it 4 in a row for San Francisco's Fury.
So I got a tweet here. Furious wants me to ask Andrew Brown if he's playing next year. Andrew Brown, are you going to be playing next year?
I'm absolutely going to be playing next year.
Oh, Chain Lightning going right at it. Wow.
AJ Tiersmith breaks free from his defender, Robbie Cahill. And Chain, who's the thrower there?
Who is the thrower? Is that Jay Hammond? Looks kind of like Jay Hammond to me. That definitely is. Jay Hammond with another forehand. That side of the field seems to be really, really favorable to those big forehands. We've seen a lot of them coming through there. Chain scores to make it 8-7 and take that break into halftime. AJ Tiersmith was saying about what they were planning to do this game and what you've seen so far. Any really interesting thoughts I might read out here, so feel free to put it out on our Twitter.
So if you're just joining us, Chain took half, up a break 8-7, and just received the pull. We have AJ Tiersmith in the middle of the field with a disc. Revolver playing zone.
A little change up here from Revolver. Chain working upwind to start the second half.
I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen zone like this yet in this game, because the wind has definitely become a factor.
Well, we have seen mostly downwind breaks, right? All the goals have been scored in this downwind end zone for the last few. Greg Swanson with a very nice forehand.
That's right, that goal made it 9-7 Chain up early in this second half. So Revolver with the raise, pull coming from Chain.
So John Monforti with the pull, big left-handed Blady outside in pull.
Fielded by Tom James. They had a secondary fielder there just in case it skipped past.
Some pretty smart strategizing there from Revolver.
It is. You don't want that rolling out the back of the end zone.
Revolver coming out of what looks like a pretty vertical stack. Although, they're mixing it up. I think they're using space very well generally. It's really difficult to get open on these Chain defenders.
Nick Schlag with the disc in the middle of the field for Revolver. Being forced forehand by Chain. Oh, wow.
Peter
Almost.
Dempsey with the sick catch block, but then loses it
Exactly.
when he comes down, almost to Callahan.
Oh, you're right. That would have been a Callahan. Oh, and Chain gets the break. Wow. That's a huge, huge block. deep in Revolver's own territory there.
That was John Monforti to Russell Snow for the goal, but Peter Dempsey there, what good coverage D, lays it out and comes down with it, but he extended so far he just couldn't hold on when he hit the ground. And Chain's got a big D line out here. Dylan Tennell, number 78, with the pull.
Nice upwind rip there. Fielded by Tom James up to Robbie Cahill. Sherwood gets the dump. Right back to Cahill. Mac Taylor now on the sideline. Puts a forehand. Ooh, wow. It's a little bit too far out in front of Tom James. He gets a hand on it, but bounces off and lands in the grass. So chain disc again, looking to break.
Unfortunate error there for Revolver, and now Chain looking for the upward break, and Dylan Tennell going at it to Joel Wooten.
Going for the jugular,
Ooh.
And he reels it in for another break. That makes it 2 breaks in a row for Chain. Wow.
Joel Wooten, a big offensive target there for Dylan Tennell. And wow, Revolver now in a tough spot, 11-7, going upwind here on this next point. These two teams, of course, qualifying for the national championships through a series of events, sectionals and regionals hosted by the UPA. Revolver coming to the tournament seeded first out of Pool A, they won, and then they won their power pool before slipping through the quarters and their semifinal matchup against Sakai. Chain, the second seed overall, going through Pool B, and then working their way up, winning their power pool, and then winning their quarters and then semis matchups against Ironside yesterday.
That's right. Both these teams are regional winners. Revolver winning the always difficult Northwest region. Wow, physical defensive bid there from Chain.
That looked like Brandon Perales. Brandon Perales, another one of the athletic pickups that Chain had out of Vicious Cycle in Florida, came up. He's commuting this year out of Gainesville. Perales looks like he may be taking a sub.
Eric Halverson sort of took a hit and gave a hit there. But I think he got the best of that.
Yeah, Perales looking to get that poach block, poaching off that far side handler, and jumped out in the lane there and couldn't quite get to it. And Halverson just came in pounding, gave Perales a pretty big hit.
Well, I was saying Revolver coming out of the Northwest region, the top seed out of that region, always difficult Northwest region, and Chain Lightning coming out of the South region, beating Double Wide in that regional final.
Oh, look at Peter Dempsey's dump D. He is really putting the pressure on Robbie Cahill.
Ooh, that disc just a little bit too far in front of Mac Taylor. Mac Taylor lays out and gets a hand on it, but that would have been a pretty difficult grab to make.
It was a really great bid by Mac Taylor, but yeah, just a little too much. You're right. It's just a little out of reach. And John the Kid Hammond picking up the disc for Chain Lightning here in purple. Chain looking for another break, up 11-7 here already.
Robert Wright with the disc for Chain. Looks like a call is made, maybe travel, I think. Travel call by Robbie Cahill. Joel Wooten with the disc. Jason Simpson now earns a gainer. Swung back to the middle. Joel Wooten working in the backfield there. Typically a cutter for Chain.
Looks like Kittredge is actually backing him a little bit there. I'm not sure about that one. You think Kittredge could front pretty much anybody in the game.
But Kittredge, with that kind of speed, always looking to help deep.
Wow, look at the faking and pivoting there from Jason Simpson. Really putting on a clinic, getting open and finally hitting Mark Poole there.
Yeah, Jason Simpson has very aggressive fakes, I feel like. He pivots hard and swings that disc around.
Chain Lightning not getting anything downfield, decides to call a timeout. They've been working pretty much horizontally, coming down the middle of the field and back to the right side of the field. Revolver, for their part, playing stellar downfield defense. You know, those guys do not want to give up another break here. They don't want to let this game get too out of hand.
So Chain with the disc sets up in a vertical stack. Let's see what kind of play we see here. Maybe a split and send.
You know, I'm not sure. They may be looking for Dempsey for maybe a dishy behind the disc to get to the break mark side. Or maybe a little high release backhand here would be kind of effective. Looks like
the dump set up directly behind the thrower.
Oh, Mark Poole.
Oh!
But Zip may get it!
Oh! Wow! What a play by Josh Zipperstein. Shows off some incredible speed.
Holy. Josh Wiseman there with a great layout block there, but just he can't get quite enough of it to get it out of reach of the speedy Zipperstein.
I mean, what more can you do if you're Josh Wiseman there? I mean, he got a piece of it, and if that's almost anyone else, that's a D. That's landing in the grass. But instead, Josh Zipperstein stays with it and runs it down, makes the layout grab.
Chain just doing a really good job here. After they get these turnovers to convert it, their D-line possession has been very good in this game. I actually think they have converted 5 out of 6 possessions.
That's incredible. I mean, when you're doing that, it's hard to not be winning the game. So Revolver offense back out on the field. Revolver needs to score to get things going in the right direction here. Ooh. Robbie Cahill sends a forehand into the end zone to Mac Taylor.
Oh, Dylan looking for it.
With a nice high bid, but the throw is too good, and Mac Taylor reels that in. So you would think after the Revolver offense had turned it a bunch that maybe they would go a little more conservative and stop hucking, but that's the Revolver game. Take chances, put it out there.
I have to say, I think that's what Dylan was also expecting. Tennell, there looked like he was fronting Mac Taylor. Mac Taylor took off, and it took a second for Tennell to realize that the disc had been thrown, and he was a little too far behind to really make a close play on that.
So that goal for Revolver stops the bleeding and brings it to 12-8 in favor of Chain. VC Ultimate is providing Ultimate with the highest quality North American-made performance apparel since 1998. Now offering full in-house creative design services. Visit www.vcultimate.com/sublimation for more information. So Chain Lightning's offense now goes back to work. Disc on the sideline. Looks like a foul on the mark.
Greg Swanson with the disc there. Mark Sherwood on the D for Revolver.
All right, Josh Zipperstein gets it up the line. Josh Marquette now with the disc, being forced backhand. Ooh. Martin Cochran really wanted that one.
One thing I want to say about the pace of this game here, Andrew, is it's been much faster than the other open game we commentated. These teams have been relatively violation-free for the most part, and then when they're having violations, they've been sorting them out pretty quickly or going to the observers pretty quickly. Observers doing a good job making things happen here.
That's right. Dylan Tennell with the disc, swings it cross field to Josh Marquette, who puts it into the end zone.
That's Asa Wilson for the grab. Josh Marquette to Asa Wilson brings it to 13-8 Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning shows some great field management there with the big swing across the field.
Yeah, on that point, you actually saw Chain use that horizontal axis of the field. They started on the right side of the field, moved all the way to the left side of the field, back to the right, and then scoring in the left side of the field. That really keeps that Revolver defense off balance. They don't know where they can defend.
That goal makes it 13-8 Chain, up late in this second half. Up goes the pull from Chain. Revolver receiving. Disc in the hands of Mark Sherwood. Great cut there from Robbie Cahill. Looks like a push-off might have been called there. Looks like it's going to go back. Cahill with the disc now. Ooh, puts up that forehand. I was just going to say, he's put in a couple nice ones from there. And Bo shows some nice speed, tracks down that one.
Yeah, he breaks free there from Joel Wooten, his mark. And Cahill puts that one really nice, kind of sails with the wind. That was the one that those Masters players couldn't connect on that in the finals yesterday that we were watching.
That's right. Well, if you've got that kind of speed, you can catch up to them even if they are falling off like that.
That's exactly right. You don't see this kind of speed in the Masters division. Not quite yet.
For all the most recent news and information concerning the sport of ultimate, including the 2009 UPA Club Championships in Sarasota, Florida, visit www.upa.org. All right, Revolver's Mac Taylor getting set to pull here. See Jit there trying to fire up this D-line. This D-line needs to generate some turns and some breaks to get themselves back in this game. Nice upwind pull there from Mac Taylor. Right around where the brick mark would be, I think.
So Chain working on a vertical stack. Oh, and Dylan going right at it to Josh Zipperstein.
That disc is hanging. Josh Zipperstein jockeying for position. It was out. His foot landed on the line.
The wind.
I think he probably could have towed that in.
I think he could have. I don't think he knew how close he was to the back line there. He was so concerned about keeping Josh Wiseman on his back and not letting him get an angle that he lost track of where he was and the depth of it. And I also say, I think that the wind just kept pushing that one back and back.
It did.
At first, I thought they were going to come down with it somewhere in the middle of the end zone,
Mm-hmm.
but that breeze just kept pushing it probably another 10 yards, such that Zip was right on that end line.
Zip, despite being fairly short, is a very dynamic receiver, and he's able to go deep and reel in hucks that are hanging over, would-be defenders, even if they are much taller than him. I've seen him do it a few times this weekend. His ability to, like you said, keep a defender on his back and maintain and hold position is uncanny. Actually, he's very, very good at it. Often catching the disc on the ground, despite a height difference.
I think it's just an awareness of where he is and his body is, as well as where his defender is, and just putting himself in between that and the disc. Now Revolver getting the opportunity for an upwind break. This would be a huge break for Revolver, get the disc back.
Tom James with the disc. Looks like he's in trouble, but finds Robbie Cahill. Tom James with the disc again, swings to Mark Sherwood. Sherwood with a nice slicing inside-out forehand. Ooh, big huck from Revolver.
Mac Taylor tracking that one down for the upwind goal and the break for Revolver.
And they needed it, Kyle.
Wow, that is a big one, especially going upwind. That gives them the opportunity to come downwind here and maybe get another break. Chain, for their part, doesn't have Paul Vandenberg. Paul Vandenberg, really a great zone handler for them. Really able to break it open, has great upwind flips and handlers.
Revolver got the upwind break there, which is always the tough one. The downwind break, usually a bit easier. But we'll see how easy Chain makes that for them.
Interesting, Revolver puts Mac Taylor on Josh Cricket Marquette.
Ooh, big bid there. Chain with the disc on the sideline. Up to AJ Tiersmith, who sends it into the end zone. Wow.
That's Josh Marquette getting open on Mac Taylor. What I was going to say is it was interesting putting Mac Taylor on Marquette. Cricket's much smaller than him, quicker, more agile, but I think maybe they're concerned about him getting those break marks off.
Revolver gives the raise.
Revolver dealing with a tough upwind point here. This is Chain's game point, 14-10 Chain Lightning. Oh, and quite a pull, but rolls just out of bounds. Tom James will be bringing it up to the goal line here. Chain getting the opportunity to set up their defense. Peter Washington stepping in to help James identify where he should be checking it in.
So Tom James being marked by Kid Hammond, who has a very good mark, actually. Very long. Robbie Cahill with the disc, just inside of his own end zone. Ooh, nice undercut there. Ooh. Nice slicing break. Looks like a foul on the mark there by John Hammond.
Looked like a pretty clear foul. See John Hammond out there. Also Rob Barrett out there for Chain Lightning. Both of them previous winners. Rob Barrett with Boston's Dog when he was in Boston, and John Hammond with the Santa Barbara Condors back in 2000 and 2001.
That's right. So Tom James with the disc again. Ooh, nice around break to Rasmussen. Rasmussen on the left side of the field. Sneaks it under the hand. Up to Bo Kittredge. Bo Kittredge gets it to Robbie Cahill, who throws the hammer into the end zone. Ooh, and it's just perfect.
That is a nice upwind hammer right there, Andrew. Revolver getting the much-needed upwind goal, putting the pressure back on the chain chain O-line, excuse me, to have to work it upwind for the final goal.
That goal makes it 14-11. Chain Lightning
And now
up late in this second half of the national championship game in the open division at the UPA Club Championships.
Chain's O-line getting their first opportunity to win this game here on game point. 14-11. Chain Lightning's up. Revolver bringing in. Is this a timeout or they just... It looks like there must have been a timeout called. I believe Revolver has one left. Judging by the organization of the teams here, I'm guessing Revolver is the one who called it. Chain, for their part, looks like they're not even going to bring it in. Maybe the O-line just needs to talk a little bit. Revolver trying to freeze up those throwers.
Discraft, the world leader in disc sports, is an official sponsor of the 2009 UPA Club Championships. Visit www.discraft.com for all the latest news.
So, Andrew, I think overall this is about what I would have expected out of this final matchup. A lot of big plays, a lot of big athletes running around. You know, Revolver showcasing their skills, their disc skills. And overall, I think Revolver's skills may be better than Chain's, but Chain's athletes, I think, are superior, despite what Mike Payne may have said during that halftime interview.
That's true. Both Mike Payne and AJ Tiersmith said that they both thought that their athletes were superior to the other team coming into this game. So this will be Chain Lightning's first chance with the disc in their hands to win a national championship game.
So that was Revolver's final time out of the game. Chain still has 2 left in this game at 14-11. Game point for Chain Lightning. I'm Kyle Weisbrod here with
Andrew Brown.
Andrew, I think I caught you off guard with that one.
So Chain will be working upwind. Last time they went upwind, they really made it look easy, sort of working it up the forehand side of the field with some relentless undercutting.
In Atlanta, that's what they call jamming up the jam hole.
That's interesting, Kyle. All right. Pull received. Centered up to Jay Hammond. Ooh, nice looking cut from Josh Marquette. Tiersmith flips it. Disc swung across, back to Tiersmith in the middle of the field.
Great downfield D by Revolver, but great move by Chain Lightning, moving the disc across the field. Josh Marquette with the disc.
Josh Marquette's ability to get open is incredible.
You know, he's one of the more unassuming players here in the open division that's been playing at this level for so long.
He's just so fast and quick.
Oh, Swanson seeing AJ breaking deep.
Wow. Drops a
Dylan
dime.
Tunnell. That is a beautiful upwind throw from Swanson to win this game.
That is incredible.
15-11. Chain Lightning with their first UPA Open Championship after 30 years together as a team.
Wow. This is one heck of a game, Kyle. We couldn't have asked for anything more out of these two teams. We saw so many great plays, whether it be skies, whether it be Ds, whether it be throws, break marks, hucks.
And
This game had it all.
it certainly did, and we really got to give it up to Revolver. Revolver working so hard all tournament long and all game long. Robbie Cahill just really dominating out there on offense, but can't come up with it enough. You know, Bo Kittredge, Mac Taylor, Mark Sherwood, this team is so solid all the way through, but Chain Lightning just too much to win, too much to handle in this game.
So the team's shaking hands now as the 2009 UPA Club Championships come to an end.
Some purple and white streamers crossing the field.